Hello, day 139, Sean here. This says 140 on it, but I did not get it out until day 139, so I just wanted to clarify for anyone who's confused, but I will be talking about the new Elden Ring tweet from yesterday, as well as Pax Camp news and other clarifications from the recent Gamescom screenshots. Why, hello there. Today is 140 days until Elden Ring comes out on January 21st, 2022, and this is the Elden Wait. Today on the Elden Wait, we will be talking about the newest Elden Ring tweet, as well as some minor corrections and additions to my previous video, which covered the latest Gamescom screenshots. So first, let's talk about the latest Elden Ring tweet, which features these two images, which did come out of Gamescom 2021 with the preview event that Bandai Namco held for press and select creators that I actually talked about previously in this video. And this actually rounds out all of the 6 images that we saw released from Gamescom. So anything moving forward that Bandai Namco shows will likely be new, or they will move back to showing fan art on Friday. But the additional piece of information now is the quote that they put up with these two images, and it says, "Faith, knowledge, there are many forces that shape the world. Choose your masters with care." And the first thing I thought when I read this quote was this snippet from the Bandai Namco Europe website, which for Elden Ring it says, "Master arcane spells from the masters that still linger among the ruins of the war." Faith and knowledge reminds me of the divide between miracles and sorcery, and could correlate with the golden and blue hue of the spells. And this recalls the divide for me between miracles and sorcery in Demon's Souls, where clerics claimed that miracles came from God, and that they judged sorcerers who practiced soul arts and explored magic that you could use using the soul, and they claimed that that had to do with demons and the Old One. As it turned out, the Talisman of Beasts revealed in Demon's Souls that God was in fact the same as the Old One, and that really miracles and sorcery are two different sides of the same coin. That being said, Elden Ring is a different game in a different world, but this idea that there are opposing forces or differing ideologies seems to align. In the context of Elden Ring, these masters of magic holding different beliefs may play into how they view like the greater will and the Erd tree in the Elden Ring itself, and perhaps some are putting their faith in the greater will and can use some sort of miracles as a result, and some are using the great runes, aka the shards of the Elden Ring, and they're deriving power from that and not from the greater will. Choosing your masters implies that these beliefs were in tension with each other, and that there's differences may have been an important aspect of the war, the shattering, that was held after the Elden Ring was shattered, and the great runes were claimed by the demigod lords. So what this post ultimately does for us is it gives slight insight into the ideological underpinnings behind the shattering, and sort of hints at possibly where it could go and how people may be thinking about the situation differently. I mean, this is something we've already sort of talked about, and it's something we've already guessed to a certain degree, but I think this is just further evidence that the shattering wasn't simply a war of power and trying to claim power by the demigods, but that there were likely different ideologies at play, and that people felt differently about the usage of the great runes, and maybe even about the greater will and the Elden Ring itself. All of that being said, I hope there are other philosophies and schools of magic that they pursue and explore new interesting ideas, because seeing miracles and sorceries does feel a bit of a reskin. I mean, these runes look really gorgeous, but it still kind of feels like a reskin at this point, and I hope that Bandai Namco and From Software are just hiding some of their interesting new ideas and presenting something more familiar at the moment. One idea that's come up with in talking to people is actually with this moment right here where you see this magic that doesn't appear to really either be a sorcery or a miracle and has this more cosmic effect, which could potentially play into something about Omnipotent mentioned forces outside of the normal realm, which the Elden Ring coming apart sort of gives entry to. So perhaps there is some cosmic horror or some powers that lie outside of the power of the Elden Ring that is another version of magic, another school of magic that you can play around with in Elden Ring. It is worth noticing here too that the summoning also has a similar cosmic effect. So I'm not exactly sure if there's any relationship between those, but this is the only like non-runic, non-miracle or sorcery looking magic we've really seen so far. And now I wanted to move on to just a couple of additions and corrections from my latest video, which covered the screenshot just shown as well as the other screenshots that came out of Gamescom. And these two comments are from this image, and I wanted to mention first this door that I alluded to, which upon further reflection and upon being pointed out to me is obviously a particle effect. I apologize, it's pretty obvious now, but in my defense I was very tired when I did it. It was pretty late, but nonetheless I wanted to clarify that that is likely not true, and it looks to be probably some ash falling from some of the burning bodies in the background. And the other comment, which is the most common one I got and is a nice find, is that on these enemies you can see a hinge on the skirt, which seems that it further solidifies evidence that this is like a golem machine sort of enemy, and that the skirt of what is designed to look like a dress opens up. And as a result, many people are calling it an Iron Maiden, but I would like to point out that there is in fact a baby on this enemy, at least a statue of a baby or something, so I think it would be more accurate to call them an Iron Madam. And the last little bit of news I wanted to bring up is about Camp Pax in Seattle. And this is an event running from the 3rd to the 6th. The 3rd is today at the time of recording, and Elden Ring is included on Steam as being part of the banner of games being featured at Camp Pax. Since then, I do want to say that Mordecai has shown that Bandai Namco is only showing Tales of Arise at their booth, so I don't know if anything will actually come up with Elden Ring or if it was just tagged because perhaps Bandai Namco is just mentioning it or, showing the trailer, but I'm not sure that they're going to show anything new. But it's still something worth keeping your eyes on. I don't think anything will come out of Camp Pax. While it's a large event, it's a kind of an obscure event compared to stuff like Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show, so I don't think this would be the place to first reveal gameplay or anything, but it's worth keeping an eye on, even though at the moment it doesn't look like it is going to amount to anything. And that is the Elden Wait today. Thanks for checking out this video, and I hope you enjoyed my sort of speculation about what the quote could be talking about. What are your thoughts about the quote? What do you think about what we've seen of magic so far in Elden Ring? And feel free to let me know if there's anything else you noticed in the latest round of screenshots. I'm interested in any details you may have noticed that haven't been brought up in this video or the video that I made covering the shots in more depth. If you've learned something or find value in these, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more Elden Ring information. And until then, I will see you for the next Elden Wait.